Hi Liberty families, my name is Mr. Nickus and I'm going to be your student's math teacher this year. Regardless of whether you're in a geometry class, pre-algebra class, or a teen top pre-algebra class, all the procedures for my classes are the same, so I'm just going to generally describe everything that goes on in class, and if you have a specific question about your class, please let me know. Email me at any time, even if it's just a small clarifying question, I'd be happy to help. So I'm going to jump right into this. Oops, that's not the right slide. I made my introduction. We're going to talk about grades and the materials your student might need for the actual classroom, and then what our online Schoology class looks like for your student. So the student's grade is going to come from these two different categories: graded assignments and assessments. Assessments is really just going to be called a quiz. Each time in the gradebook you'll see just a series of quizzes that make up this 70%. Graded assignments are typically going to be called flashbacks. Those are your weekly graded assignments that you can complete outside of class. We may also have some graded assignments during class, but that makes up the remainder of that 100%, left over 30%. So assessments, which you might know them as quizzes and tests, but those are really going to be the same thing in this class. Quizzes, tests are interchangeable here. They're all going to count for the same exact thing in the gradebook. They're always going to be announced at least a week in advance, and they're always retakeable. So it's not going to be the exact same assessment. It's going to be something with very similar questions, the same exact topics, but usually just different numbers to see if they understood their mistakes from the original quiz. They can always be retaken, but it really is up to the student to come to us and make sure that they're retaking it. We're not going to force that on them. They have to come to our Liberty time, come to our after school. It might be occasionally that we do some of this during class, but it's going to be rare. More often, they'll need to actually take the initiative and come to us to get that extra help and then retake the quiz. You will have one opportunity to retake it, so you have your one original try, and then one opportunity to retake it. We will always take the higher of the two scores. Graded assignments are much less pressure. So assessments, you have to do well on those, at least on one of those two tries. Graded assignments have much less pressure. They're always going to be online. They're always going to be assigned on Friday and due the following Friday. But you can always ask for help and get it checked. Actually, most of the time, it's going to be automatically checked. Either they're going to be done through Horizon, or they're going to be done through a Google form. And the Google form or Horizon will automatically tell the student which questions they got right and wrong. They can then go back and fix it on their own. As many times as they want for my class, they can retry it an unlimited amount of times to make sure that they get as good of a grade as they possibly can. These are really supposed to be a learning experience. It's not supposed to be a stressful grade. It is going to count for a grade, but I want them to learn through these flashbacks. This should really just be a practice assignment that shows that they're mastering these older topics. Usually, that's why we're really calling them flashbacks, because they review older topics. Usually I really just want them to actually be learning from that experience and reviewing previous topics. There is a big difference between cheating and working together. I'm okay with students working together on these if they're learning from them. I'm also okay with them coming to me, asking for help on every single question if they're actually genuinely learning from it. If they're abusing those, if they just ask for answers from their friends or from me, obviously that's going to be cut off. But really, they are supposed to be learning from these and getting good grades on these. That should be an easy 30% to earn. There's a little bit more pressure with assessments, but they should be able to get all 30 points from that part of the assignments because they can ask for help, they can use their notes, and they have a full week to complete them from Friday to Friday. And actually, let's say they don't complete it by that Friday, they have an additional 2 weeks with no penalty at all. You can do it 2 weeks late, and it will not be counted against you, but if it isn't done by that 2 week late mark, it will be counted as a 50 in the gradebook, and it will remain that way. These 50% really hurt your grade, so don't dig yourself into that hole. Actually, the rolling gradebook in general is very difficult to dig yourself out of a hole when you initially start off poorly. Let's say a student starts off with a 75% or a C after the first quarter. The next test, if you do very well on that test and get 100%, the student can climb up 6% all the way up to a B. If you wait until the third quarter to try to fix your grade, if you still have a C there and you really want to be, it's much tougher to climb out of that. The next test grade will only give you an extra 2%, keeping you at a C. Start strong, and if you don't start strong, try to recover right away. Come for retakes, make sure you review your flashbacks and really try them again and ask for help when you get stuck. That is the best way to make sure that this doesn't linger into the third quarter. The Materials you need are really simple. You just need something to write with, you need your laptop, and a small binder or a section of a bigger binder just to keep track of all the papers I give. Don't actually even really need scratch paper. If you'd like to have your own scratch paper, you can. I'll also offer scratch paper if you need it. But really, it's essential that everybody has a binder just to keep track of a lot of papers that they will be getting during class. In general, I'll only ask them to save things that are what I find important, notes, and quiz reviews or study guides, something that's just specifically geared towards reviewing for the assessment. Those are the two types of assignments I will give them to save in their binder. Other practice assignments or homeworks might be recycled after each unit. Please contact me if you have any questions about this stuff. I'm going to look at the Schoology page just real quick, just to show you, so you have some experience if you need to walk your student through this. So this is just one of my classes. This is our first period pre-algebra class. These are really the folders that the student should be focused on. After the first few weeks, these two folders we might not come back to so much. We are going to use them a little bit, but once they have some of this stuff bookmarked, like the scientific calculator, the Desmos calculator, once you bookmark that, you might not even really need these two folders at the bottom. Really, the two folders at the top are the important ones. This black one will always have the flashbacks in it, and I'll just continuously move this up as we get new units. The top folder will always be the current unit. So right now we're on unit 1. All the materials for that unit are going to be in here. As we get another unit, I'll just keep adding them on top of that, and the list will grow. The top one will always be the most recent unit. You can also see on the right side, there's events that suggest what's coming up. So today, we have our real number system quiz. That's an event there. Tomorrow, the first flashback is due. So there's just reminders here of important dates that are coming up. And all the resources should really mostly be in these top two folders, the flashbacks and the current unit that we're covering. If your student does need to message me, there is this little mail button that you can click and create a new message. Feel free to send that if you need it. There's also a calendar where they can keep track of their own events. I hope this was helpful, but if you feel like there is information that you still need, please email me. I'd be happy to help you however I can. Looking forward to a good year. Thanks.